Alright, hello everybody. I'm Gamemaster 909, back with another Gamemaster 909 plays. Today, I will be playing the newly released game for Pearl Abyss, Crimson Desert. So, yeah, let's get started. Just kidding. April Fools. Haha. I'm probably just gonna play a Mario Kart World like I sometimes do in my spare time. Kind of just on and off, I would play this game online. Like, I think a lot of people do. Just either with race or knockouts or playing it online. Because, you know, it's Mario Kart. It's gonna be replayable. And, for Crimson Desert, I think I've heard of the game before. I'll be honest, I just kind of looked up what games were, like, hot right now and trending. And that was one that popped up. It's interesting because seems like I have like been trying to keep up with like what new games have been coming out as of recently, especially for a system like the Nintendo Switch 2. You know, we have Pragmata coming out for the system. That's a game from Capcom. And recently, you know, of course, Resident Evil 9 came out. Been listening to a lot more like podcasts recently. So I've been able to keep up with gaming a lot more as of recently. Well, I guess I always have to an extent through weird means. Like, for example, the my Guitar Hero World Tour Definitive Edition videos have kind of helped me with that because of all the like character mods that come out for it. Some of them will be for like brand new games that had just recently come out. Like that was the case for Baldur's Gate 3 and like Silent Hill F. That was last year, and along with like Stellar Blade and stuff. Well, to be fair with that game, I knew about it before, but like, I guess having a Guitar Hero mod for it definitely helped. Because I don't have time to like play all these games. I'm not gonna play all of them, so being able to have this, you know, knowledge through other means kind of helps me out with picking. Because I'll admit I could be a very like self-contained guy. Of just kind of playing what I want to play, not really following the crowd or anything. For the most part. Like, I'll play all the Nintendo games that everyone else plays, so some could argue that, like, oh, it's just a stupid basic Nintendo fan. Only playing the Marios and Zeldas, which isn't entirely true. Also, I just don't really like judging people for what they play. At this point, I've stopped caring. That's especially the case for... oh my god. Um... That's especially the case for how often I play a Fortnite Battle Royale. And that kind of seals the deal about how I feel about, like, judging others for playing games, along with judging myself, or just how others judge me. Because for the longest time I was always embarrassed to play it, because everyone else, like, I knew a lot of people had made fun of me for playing it. Nowadays I don't care. I found other people that play it, so like, who cares? Right? Why should you care about what I play? But I mean podcasts have also like helped me like you know, keep up with other things like music and movies and animation as well. Well, music for the most part. I guess there's another case to where it's like interesting means to where I keep up with that kind of stuff. You know, when I'm not waiting for the next Taught in the Shadows pop song review, uh, how I just witness like what popular music is, what music's popular, I guess, in the pop world. I'll sometimes listen to my local pop station, which, you know, take that as you will. I guess just when I'm bored and have no, because I have a pretty old car, so I don't really have options like Bluetooth or anything. So FM radio is kind of one of my only options. And I'll listen to the pop station every now and then when I'm not tuned to my freaking alt rock station or freaking classic rock station. So another thing about me, it's kind of self-contained. It's just my music, listening tendencies. I won't really listen to like what's quote-unquote popular. I'll just listen to like, okay, these are the stations I like. These are the genres I like. Well, I'll just listen to this for the rest of my life. I'm exaggerating, obviously. And in fact, it kind of goes hand in hand with video games in terms of my music discovery, I guess. I'll admit there were multiple artists that I only knew existed because of their presence in Fortnite collaborations and stuff. Like Carol G. I'd never heard of her before she got in Fortnite, so that tells you everything you need to know. I don't really pay attention to a lot of things going on in the world, less than you might think. Like I said, though, I've been getting better at it over the years. But, I've always been not the best at it. Back when I was younger, I think I did it just to seem cool. And nowadays I do it because I genuinely don't care. Which, isn't that a good thing? If I, you know, don't care what other people think? I think it could be both a blessing and a curse. Like, it can work out well for you, it could work out not well for you. If you don't care what other people think, you'll, you know, not listen to criticism. But at the same time, not caring what other people think means that you won't care what stupid people think of you. Or insecure people think of you. And all that stuff. People who think you should be more like them, you know. Very weirdly selfish mindsets. And I'm sure that's kind of the case for people probably judging me right now because of the fact that I own a Switch 2. Because of this weird mentality on the internet of people being like, of you know, calling each other quote-unquote shills. It was like, man, you like a product and bought it? Man, what a Nintendo shill. It's like, geez, I'll play what I freaking want. If you don't want to switch to, that's none of my business. I think it's just a matter of people sharing their opinions on the internet, whether it's actually theirs or not, just to get attention. That's been a thing since possibly even before the internet. I think even with stuff like publications and, print journalism, that's probably been the case. Although people have just figured out more and more what works and what doesn't, what gets on people's nerves and what doesn't. People throw around the term rage bait now. To finding ways to get people angry just for attention. It's getting weirdly philosophical, I'm sorry. I just kind of delved myself into that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about fricking your own security and not caring what other people think. That's a great idea, Mr. 909. What? Oh my god. What a tease game. Alright. I don't think I've ever seen these cannons. What do they even do? Is it just a shortcut? Looks like it. Okay. Nothing really to note. Got it. Wow, full 24 players. That's nice. As of when I'm recording this, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is coming out. Super excited for that. I haven't seen it yet, of course. I also haven't watched any reviews. I also have to remind myself to, not go on the internet all day, because there are bound to be people spoiling it for everyone, which happens for every movie. I unfortunately was spoiled for the Super Mario Brothers movie. Oh, crap, I need to pay attention. I forgot we're actually racing, not just going through the open world. I unfortunately was spoiled for the original Super Mario Brothers movie, because I was unfortunately spoiled by where in the movie the Charles Martinet cameo was. That's about it, though. I think that's the most I was spoiled. And I think even when I did see the movie with some friends, I told them, like, hey guys, I was unfortunately spoiled by this movie. I won't tell y'all what it is, but I just was. So yeah, unfortunately the Charles Martinet cameo wasn't too big of a surprise to me. I mean, we knew about it beforehand, to be fair. So it's not a big spoiler at all. So I guess you could argue I got a little lucky. I'm just hoping that ain't the case for Mario Galaxy movie. I'll try my best to stay off the internet. Are there any other movies that I've been legit spoiled by? I'm trying to think. So I'm trying to look back on like all the times I've seen in my recommended while the movie was in theaters, like freaking crappy screen recordings of like, oh, this movie's like ending or whatever, the final battle, whatever crap. I remember a long time ago I saw that for DreamWorks' The Boss Baby. This was back in 2017. And I remember at the time, this was an interesting time because, like, I was heavily, like, advocating against piracy or whatever. I was writing essays for it at school and stuff because I saw a whole bunch of people around me pirating movies. Nowadays, I don't care. But at the time, I was like, what the hell are you guys doing? Are y'all just looking up these freaking pirate sites just to watch movies? I think, because, like, in high school, whenever I saw people do it, I just thought it was funny. I didn't do it myself, and I think that was the thing about, me beforehand. This would have been, like, 2017, so I don't think I was in high school quite yet. Crap. Damn it. I think it was just a case where, like, I really cared about what other people thought for some reason. Damn it. Because, like, I did write an essay about, or more so, like, write a speech for class about, like, I am against film piracy, and here's why. About, like, the repercussions of how much money industries could lose or whatever from piracy. Which is, I mean, it's still relevant now, to be fair. Piracy is a thing now, probably always be a thing. It's inevitable, really. It's always existed. It's just stuff like the internet has made it easier than ever to, as my own sister described it, look the film up on Google, type in full movie, and you'll just find it in an instant. Because, it was obviously my young self's responsibility to police what other people did. And I think that's the issue of just, like, my own insecurity at the time of caring what other people thought or did. Back to this whole thing again. My lord. Because this was around the time when my sister figured out ways of pirating stuff, which she doesn't do anymore. But she did at this time, and then I started noticing other people doing it. I knew a freaking kid in school at this time that would, like, freaking advertise, like, some application. And it was like advertising it like a freaking salesman to people in the lunchroom. It was like, hey, yo, you want to watch free movies? Looking back, it's funny. At the time, I don't think I found it funny. I remember also at the time, one of my friends, like, I think I told them about it, and he was making the argument about how, like, these, movie studios and companies, they make hundreds of millions of dollars regardless of piracy, so why even bother? Why even care about it? Which, yeah, of course, he has a point. But I think at the time I was thinking, like, there's a chance it could be a freaking slope. A slippery slope. Was I trying to say hickory slope? What the hell? Whatever. Slippery slope. Of, like, oh, if this, piracy stuff spreads, then it might become more and more of an issue. Which, I don't think that's why, box office box office grosses are dwindling in the 2020s. I think it's for different reasons. Most notably, probably, streaming services. Or, I mean, official streaming services, not like streaming platforms like, pirate sites. That's different. I still don't know too many people nowadays that legitimately pirate. And Again, if I did, I wouldn't really care. I the only thing I really care about is how I watch films, which I watch most movies for. I still watch movies for like freaking Blu-rays. It's like, why does my opinion matter? You know, I'm not better than everyone else. But I think back in 2017, I might have thought I was better than everyone else, which is an unhealthy way to think. Damn it. I'm not gonna act like I'm on some moral high ground or anything. Just because I personally don't emulate video games, that's just my own personal preference. I'm not gonna act like, guys, I'm saving the video game industry. And it's because, like, who gives a crap? I really need to catch up. Come on. I didn't do great. Damn it. Yeah, I know. I know how you feel, Daisy. You still got that smile on your face, though. Alright. Yeah, I lost 13 points. Whatever. No big deal. Because you know what people say, right? Before you can like anyone else, you have to first like yourself. I think some people have yet to figure that out. And so, to make themselves feel better, the first thing they do is make other people feel worse. God, that's a whole other topic I could go down. I don't know if I want to. That might be a little too, I guess too controversial. If I just straight up said it. I know most people are gonna be like, dude, he's speaking the truth, man. But meh, not today. I could say it's an insecurity of like bullying and stuff. Although, yeah, I guess I could talk about it. About me thinking like that's the basis of cancel culture. Of just people trying to make these celebrities feel worse so that they, you know, not famous individuals could make themselves look better. And unfortunately, because the internet is filled with so many people that many of them might not have the best social lives, they unfortunately will probably follow. Because that's just how the internet is. And then I've always been of the, like... I know a lot of people that say, like, oh, people are getting stupider and stupider, when, like, the truth is, people have always been stupid. That's what I think. It's like, crap. I go back to, like, I'll watch some old footage of, like, just people hanging out in, like, the 1980s or 90s. I've seen plenty of that kind of footage on the internet. They're fun to watch, but it just kind of supports the point of, like, people are always dumb. It's just that the internet has successfully been able to bring all these dumb people together and make them super loud. And so, you know, everyone looks the same on the internet. You can't see their face or how they talk or how they act. you just see text in front of you. For the most part, I know there are exceptions. You know, if you log into like a video game and have voice chat with random people on, you are going to notice how stupid they are, but you know, more often than not, you're going to see text. So, I guess the stupid have been able to use that to suppress themselves, to make it seem like they're smarter than they really are. And I guess they've been able to use that to kind of just make the stupid opinions be heard more. Of like, hey everybody, boycott this studio because I don't like this and that. This is too expensive, therefore boycott Nintendo. Stupid stuff like that. Or, you know, short attention spans, not hearing about something, or not being fed this kind of content for 2 seconds and then go, oh, this company's dying. Like, you know, not having a Nintendo Direct in a while. Like a Nintendo Direct presentation, I mean. Therefore, Nintendo is dying or something. When it's like, no. Nintendo Switch 2 is selling just fine. I think they recently said that, oh, we're gonna like stock less Nintendo Switch 2s or something. Something like that. Or that, oh, it wasn't, like, it didn't reach our expectations or whatever. These companies having unrealistic expectations. That can be seen as an issue, although I think it's just how business works. But I guess not everyone knows that. So they have to act like this company's dying because something isn't to their expectations. Or that's especially the case now with Fortnite. Good God. If I want to go down that path of, you know, all this stuff going down in that whole base of like, oh, you know, the Fortnite in-game currency value is going down. You know, you gotta pay the same price for less V-Bucks. That's what they're called. I know everyone probably knows this, but you never know. Not everyone knows what V-Bucks are, although it's better. I'd say it's better just to be safe. I definitely did not think that way back in the day, I can tell you that. I just kind of spouted out stuff without really giving context. So I look back and read it and think, wow, I didn't explain any of this crap. I only know what this person's talking about because I am that person. But anyways, and of course there's also like the layoffs at the development studio Epic Games, along with all this other stuff. They're shutting down game modes for the game, which, to be fair, it was ones no one really played anyways. So, like, sure. I think Fortnite's going to be just fine, personally. I don't think they're quote-unquote dying. Sure, they're in a rough spot, but, like, it's still a super huge game with millions of players. I think people just like to see a game fail. It's especially evident with just because it gives them, like, easy videos with views, you know? Because I guess people like watching video essays of like, oh, whoa, okay, that was interesting. Like, quote, the rise and fall of this game. Like, that happened recently with High Guard. And I was thinking, like, how did this even happen? How did that game become such a colossal failure? I mean, to be fair, we've seen colossal failures like that in the past of video games. I guess just seeming boring to people. remember back in, I think, 2017, 2018, there was that game Lawbreakers. That was kind of in a similar boat. And of course, there's the infamous Battleborn. That was a big example of that. Which even then, these... Battleborn might have had an actual fan base. I definitely wasn't part of it. But it did last, I think, 5 years, like, with active servers. I think they shut them down in 2021. And it's funny, because, like, the game that, you know, kind of overshadowed Battleborn popularity, Overwatch, now also has its servers shut down, so, like, who's laughing now? Crap. Okay, 10th place. That's, like, bottom middle. Oh, no, okay. Right, there was, like, 22, 23 players. Yeah, right. Alright. I think that's enough for now. Alright. That wraps everything up for this April Fool's video. Leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Good God, that got deep.